Hello everyone and welcome to our blind let's play of Silent Hill 4 The Room, the endings guide. Now I've done one of these for every Silent Hill game so far, and what we do is we talk about how to get each ending and then we watch all the endings together, as well as me give my personal opinion on what I think about, how the game ended and my overall thoughts on the game, because this will be our final episode of Silent Hill 4. Which really saddens me, because that means this is the last time we will see a Team Silent game on the channel, because the other Silent Hill games weren't made by Team Silent. Although I did hear some good things about some of them, so I'm really excited to see what they have to bring to the show. Well, let's go ahead and let's jump in and talk about what we need to do to get the endings. To get all the endings of Silent Hill 4, it's not too unlike Silent Hill 1. And that is, in Silent Hill 1, if you save the game at a certain spot, you can actually reload that game, and from that load, access all the other endings. And that spot is here. Now, what is here? This is just after you basically receive the toy key from underneath the door in the second subway world. And what happens is you'll start to get hauntings in your room. In order to get the ending that we got on our first playthrough, you have to purify your room. I think a website said about 70% of the time. I'll just say always purify your room. So whenever you see a haunting, purify it. To purify it, use a candle or use a medallion, and you walk up to it and you put the candle on the ground, or you wear the medallion, and this thing will go away. If you want the other ending, however, you have to let all the hauntings occur, so you never ever clean out your room. This is potentially a lot dangerous, and this is why I suggest you do on the second playthrough, because those windows there, if I step over here to the save point, if I get too close to the save point, I take damage. So yeah, having your hauntings can really mess you up, because it limits the amount of space that you can go around your room without taking damage. And once that ghost starts showing up, every single time you enter the room, you're gonna take damage, and every single time you try to go back to hole, you're gonna take damage. So it's a really bad idea to leave these hauntings unless you want the other ending. The second trigger to getting an ending in this game is based on Eileen's survival. It's kind of interesting how I say that, because here's the thing. Eileen here, you could beat the crud out of Eileen, or let Eileen get the crud beaten out of her by enemies, and it actually doesn't affect the ending. The only thing it affects is 2 cutscenes during the game, and at the end of the game, when she goes to walk into that spinning blade of death, the more injured she is, the faster she'll walk. Needless to say, I highly recommend you just don't let her get injured. Take care of Eileen. There's no reason to. You can easily get the other endings by just letting her walk into the thing. Yes, she'll move really slow, but because she moves really slow, you can get the other ending by stabbing the face and then killing Walter before she dies. So, in other words, to get one ending, you have to have Eileen safe and purify the room all the time, basically. The second ending then is to purify the room all the time and then let her die. The third ending would be never purify the room and defeat Walter Sullivan. And then the fourth ending is never purify your room and let her die before defeating Walter Sullivan. Sadly, there is no UFO ending or dog ending or fun ending or joke ending or anything like that in the game. I did some research on this, and apparently there are files in the game that do talk about a UFO ending, but for some reason or another, they would never actually implement it into the game, or it was never completed. So sadly, there is only 4 endings in this game, and there's no joke ending. It's very similar, like I said, to Silent Hill 1, and also similar to Silent Hill 2, in the fact that you have an escort, and you don't want your escort to get hurt unless you want her to get hurt. But in reality, just don't let her get hurt. I was told if you take a silver candle, though, and drop it on the ground, she actually heals damage. And I read somewhere that if she gets damaged too much, she'll actually hurt you and all enemies around you, which will make your life miserable. So just keep her alive, and then just wait for her to die if you want all the endings. And if you do it smartly, you only need to play the game 1.5 times to get all 4 endings. Unfortunately, my last save was later on in the subway world, and I could have probably started from there, but I decided to restart so that way I would make sure that I would get no hauntings whatsoever, just to make sure I got the endings I wanted. And yeah, so that's basically how you get all 4 endings in this game. Nothing complicated like the other games. It's just really straightforward triggers. Make sure Eileen is okay or let her die, and make sure you clean your room or not. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and skip to our first ending, the one that we got. Then we'll watch the other ending, which is the one where Eileen dies. Then we'll watch the third ending, which is Eileen lives, but our room is haunted. And then our final ending will be Eileen dies and our room is haunted. So basically like worst case scenario. All right, I'll see you guys in a couple hours. It'll probably take me that long to get through this end game, but it'll be a lot of fun. Sure. Yeah. This game scares the heck out of me. Even playing through the second time, this game has scared the heck out of me. I don't know what it is about this game, but this game is legit scary. All right. See you in a few.
Eileen?
Let me in! Mom!
Eileen.
Thanks. Aw. Guess we'll have to find a new place to live, huh?
So that is our first ending, Escape. And I really enjoyed that ending because it ended with a good joke at the end about moving away and never wanting to come back. And even though normally Silent Hill games, I like them to end on a down note because it suits the personality of the game, I enjoyed that ending. Yeah, that was a really cool ending. We'll have to see if the other ones get dark. Next one. So in this playthrough, I went ahead and loaded my previous save, which was, we've cleansed the room every single time we've been able to cleanse it, or just about every single time. And now that we've cleansed the room just about every single time, we have to let Eileen die. And so Eileen is slowly gonna walk towards this pit into that scary looking machine. And the more injured she is throughout the game, the faster she'll walk. So since she's not very injured, because we did a good job taking care of her, she's gonna walk very slowly to that device. But all you have to do is just wait for her to walk all the way over, and you don't need to worry about keeping her, you don't really need to worry about having her have injuries throughout the game. Because if you make her injured throughout the game, it's going to make getting the other ending a lot harder, because it's easy to wait this out than it is to try to do this as fast as you can before she just like runs right into the device. Also, apparently enough, you can stand right here. I did not know this, but you can actually just stand right here, and Walter's gonna leave you alone. So yeah, you can just literally wait for her to walk to her death, and Walter is more than okay with that, apparently. He seems more concerned about guarding whatever that thing is. So this is gonna be our second ending, which is clean your room as much as possible and watch Eileen. God, I don't wanna watch this. I spent the entire game making sure she doesn't get hurt, and now I'm gonna watch her walk into that thing? This is not gonna be pretty. All right, I'll see you guys in just 1 second as soon as she gets closer to that device. All right, well, Eileen is getting close now. She's knee deep in that pool of blood. She continues to walk closer and closer. Can't be long now. I mean, the spike edges are literally almost touching her. Deeper in she goes. She's now waist high. Oh, I don't want to see this. I really don't. Oh, none of the other. Oh. God, that sound effect is horrifying. Oh, that may haunt my dreams for a few nights. Good Lord, that is messed up. So now we actually have to finish the fight. So we got to go around here, stab the face, kill Walter, and you know, all that good stuff. Walter is dead, and Eileen is as well. Time to see the second ending out of 4.
Mom.
And now the news. Yesterday in Ashfield and the woods near Silent Hill, the bodies of 5 men and women were discovered. The police reported that all the murders appeared to be the work of the same perpetrator. They are continuing their investigation. 4 of the victims were found dead at the scene, and the 5th victim, a Miss Eileen Galvin, was transported to St. Jerome's Hospital, where she died a short time later. Police say that Miss Galvin's injuries matched exactly those of the other victims.
Eileen.
That ending was very different from the escape ending, that is for sure. And I don't know, I just feel a little bit incomplete with that ending, because no resolution seemed to happen with Henry. Yes, we heard Eileen died, but at the same time, what else happened? I mean, it's almost like that was half an ending. The whole thing wasn't there. And that to me it's just weird. That's all. It was just, it didn't really gel with me, that ending, because of that. Well, those are the first 2 endings. The first one where we purify the room and Eileen lives. This one, we purify the room and Eileen dies. Unfortunately, I don't think I can load my save file from the midpoint of the game. So I'm going to have to restart in order to make sure that our room is as horrible as possible to get the other 2 endings. Shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. This game already freaks me out though, so playing again, oh boy. Alright, I'll see you guys in a few. Not necessarily an ending per se, but I did want to show off what happens if Eileen is totally battered and has these 2 cutscenes. So for completionist purpose, let's see her with this.
Eileen?
Daddy? Where are you? Where did you go?
Okay, that's a lot creepier.
Mommy? Mommy? Why won't you wake up? Henry? I get... Ah! My head! Ah! Ah! Mommy? Ah! Henry? That boy. I have to help him.
And here's the umbilical cord scene.
My head.
Mommy? Why did you leave me? I'm scared. I'm so scared.
By the way, if you want to play on real scare mode in Silent Hill 4, play with her injured, because all throughout the time that you're walking and you're exploring and you're getting stuff, she is just going absolutely crazy all the time. And it is super... I mean, the game's super creepy enough, but and that just makes it even more super creepy. Last look at our beautiful room before we enter the final boss fight with our room fully possessed. There were some possessions that I don't think I ever saw in the game. For example, I know there's a possession with the shoes. There is a possession on our fridge though, and this is something I wasn't able to see last time. But that is disgusting, look at that. So yeah, that is gross. In addition to that, our wall is possessed, or our wall was possessed. That's really weird, it went away. Our TV is possessed, showing like a weird image on it. It's weird. I'd have to like freeze frame that to see what that was. And then of course we have, why are their possessions just suddenly stopping? That's really bizarre. But yeah, so we're going into the final boss fight here. The object of this boss fight is of course to use the umbilical cord, then grab the spears. I'm going in with little inventory so I can do this as quick as possible. Even though Eileen is okay, I don't want to risk it. I'll see you guys in the first ending here, or third ending, I should say.
Eileen? Eileen.
The day after.
Thanks. Well, I guess I can go back to South Ashfield Heights now.
Huh, so that was basically the escape ending with a shot of the room. I don't know about that. I mean, that to me seems like a... the ending was named Mother, but I just don't know. That ending just was too similar to Escape, and it didn't... Why is that called a Mother? Like, what's the point of calling it Mother? That doesn't make any sense at all. I'm a little bit clueless on this one. But you can see I was able to beat the game much faster on easy the second time through. Although I will say, easy mode doesn't really feel any easier than normal. I almost died on the final fight against Walter because he was doing a lot of damage to me. So I really don't... And the twins took like 4 to 5 hits to bring down, and the upgraded twins took like 7 hits to bring down. So I really don't understand why easy is easy. I mean, I could have probably played this on normal and not noticed at all. It's not like the other Silent Hills, it seems. Although I will say on easy mode, you do get 2 more pistol holders. So instead of holding 10 pistol ammo, you can hold 12. But that's really like the only real difference I saw in this game. Maybe there's a couple more items everywhere, but that was it. So that was the third ending, Mother, where your room is possessed and Eileen survives. Again, not too impressed by the ending overall. It just seemed too similar to the other one. I did bring up Silent Hill 1 earlier, and I said Silent Hill 1 is kind of like Silent Hill 4 in the fact that you can save halfway through. And a lot of the endings in Silent Hill 1 just seemed like one thing was different from one ending to the next. And it was so minor that you really wouldn't have noticed. And that's how I kind of feel about this ending. This ending, there's like one change, and it's so minor that if you would have gotten this ending versus the other ending, you would probably not have noticed. Although I will say, when they, in the escape ending, when they talk about getting out, I thought that was kind of a funny line. So I do enjoy that ending more than this one, because this one just doesn't really feel like... This one feels like it's trapped between a good ending and a bad ending. Like in some way they say, oh, I guess we can go back to South Ashfield Heights, and then you see the room and the room is all possessed, and you're just thinking, oh no, when they go back to this place, bad things are gonna happen. So this one is almost like an ominous ending, but it doesn't... I don't know if it really comes off that effectively. Okay, those are my thoughts on the third ending, Mother. Time to let Eileen die and then defeat Walter Sullivan, and we'll see our last ending for Team Silent's amazing series. I'll see you guys in just a few. Our last ending. Eileen dying in a room possessed.
My head!
He's in the room now. That's different.
let anyone get in my way. Gonna stay with you forever.
And now the news. Yesterday, in Ashfield and the woods near Silent Hill, the bodies of 5 apparent murder victims and a 6th severely wounded female were discovered. The woman was immediately rushed to St. Jerome's Hospital, but died a short time later of her injuries. She has been identified as a Miss Eileen Galvin of Ashfield. The last body discovered was found in room 302 of the South Ashfield Heights apartments. It is believed to be that of its occupant, Henry Townsend. The body was reportedly disfigured beyond recognition, making identification impossible. Once again, we've got late-breaking news. 5 unnamed police officers have been found dead for reasons unknown in the South Ashfield Heights apartments, along with its superintendent, Mr. Frank Sunderland. All other residents of South Ashfield Heights have been rushed to St. Jerome's Hospital, many complaining of severe chest pain. These strange incidents are similar to the ones which occurred in Silent Hill some years ago. More news to follow.
Well, that was interesting. That was kind of cool. I gotta say, I enjoyed that ending. The 21 Sacraments ending. Very, very cool. I will say the good ending, which I guess we can call the escape ending the good ending. The good ending I liked. And then the bad ending, which the 21 Sacraments ending should be, I liked. And then the other two were just meh, kind of. I mean, they just didn't. They only felt like half an ending, if that makes sense. I will say that Silent Hill 4's endings, as stated before, seem to mirror Silent Hill 1's endings. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. I liked how the Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3's endings were all very unique. But at the same time, the good ending was good and the bad ending was good. So 2 out of the 4 endings, I'm really, really glad that I saw. And the only way I could see both endings is if I do the necessary requirements to purify the room and possess the room. So saving Eileen and killing Eileen is easy to, manipulate. So regardless, you would have to play at least 1.5 times in order to see both of those endings. I really, really enjoyed the entire Silent Hill series by Team Silent. Every single game had its own unique identity, you could say. And I really loved how different the games felt from one game to the next. Whereas the first game was very much, I guess you could say, traditional survival horror. As my first real experience with survival horror outside of Parasite Eve, it was really good and I enjoyed it. And then Silent Hill 2 took that survival horror and mixed a whole lot of psychological warfare in it. And I love the story. It was amazing. It was really well told and really well done. And I think possibly Silent Hill 2 had the best story overall. Silent Hill 3, I thought had the best gameplay overall because it was more action-based. You had more weapons and more abilities, more different types of enemies. And the final boss, oh my god, that final boss Silent Hill 3 was by far the most difficult final boss out of all of the games. That boss fight was insane if you don't cheat. And I showed you how you could cheat the boss in the ending guide for Silent Hill 3. Silent Hill 4 took the scare factor and dialed it up to over 9,000. I mean, this game is legit scary. I've never played a game this scary before. I played games with jump scares before and things like that, but this game, just the the anxiety this game produces, it does something that none of the other Silent Hills do. And again, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I will say that I didn't have as much fun playing through this game because I was always so anxious and full of anxiety and just, you know, jumping at everything that moves. And part of that is the camera angles and the way your character moves, and the enemies are just relentless in this game. The ghosts you can't kill. But at the same time, the experience of Silent Hill 4 is completely unique to the experience of the other Silent Hills. And while I will say I would not mind replaying Silent Hill 2 or Silent Hill 3 or Silent Hill 1 even, probably Silent Hill 3 is the game that I would replay first because I just had a lot of fun with it. While Silent Hill 4 is definitely not on my list of games I want to play again, it still will leave a lasting impact on how I view games moving forward. So for that, kudos to you, Silent Hill 4. Great job. You did what you intended to do. And as the final hurrah to Team Silent, I just want to say thank you, Team Silent, for making some amazing, amazing games. Our next game that we're going to be playing is actually House of Ashes, which is the third Dark Picture anthology game by the makers of Supermassive, who did Until Dawn. We played Man of Medan and Little Hope 3 times each on this channel, and it was a lot of fun. I can't wait to play House of Ashes. I just want to say, if you've made it this far and you've been watching like all the Silent Hills, if you can do me just one small favor, and that's hit a thumb up and comment below. I love to hear your thoughts. Tell me what you think of Silent Hill 4. Tell me what you thought was the best ending in Silent Hill 4. You know, that those are things I love to hear from you guys. What was your favorite Silent Hill out of all the Silent Hill games? And if you really want to help support the channel beyond just doing that, which is enough, trust me, I'm so honored that you just watch the videos. Nonetheless, like or comment on them. But if you want to help in an additional way, you can join our Patreon. The link is in the description below. TechnoTrouble is the first Patreon on our channel, and I'm just so honored to think someone would do that, would support the channel in that way. It just blows my mind when that happened, and I am so grateful and so honored, and I just want to play some great games with you guys. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Don't worry, it's all right. Hit that thumb up button. That's all that I really ask of you, because that helps out our channel. But with that said, I love you guys so very much. You all really changed my life with the support you give this channel, and I am just honored and grateful that I can play some amazing games with you all. For now, this is goodbye to Silent Hill, but not goodbye forever. As I said, we're gonna play House of Ashes next, followed by Space Quest 4, followed by Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, which I hear is a lot like Silent Hill, and I'm super excited for it. And then we'll play another point and click, maybe Space Quest 5, I'll have to see. And then after Space Quest 5, I plan on doing some emulation because the other Silent Hill games aren't readily available, because 2 of them are PSP games and 2 of them are PS3 games. And the PSP games are really, really hard to record because, well, no one supports the PSP anymore, unfortunately. And the PS3 games are really hard to record on the PS3 because they're super duper expensive to buy online. So needless to say, the next 4 Silent Hills will probably be done via emulation if I can get to work. And I would really love to see, you know, what the spin-offs are like. I've heard some good things about some of the games and some bad things about other games. Either way, I'm really excited to see what they bring, and I'm super pumped to see what the future of this channel brings. As I said, I love you all so very much. Until next time, my friends, so long, and take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you would like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more. Also, please do not forget, you matter, you are brilliant, and you are loved. and you should always remember to be true to yourself. Don't let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly feathered flightless bird. Till next time.